Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has faced massive issues since its announcement due to one of the lead actresses, Amber Heard. And while we don't know how much she'll be in the film, we know that they didn't recast or remove all of her scenes, and now that teasers are releasing leading up to its December release date, people are roasting the terrible CGI, mediocre trailer, and all around are just voicing how unhappy they are with the situation. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So I wanted to start off with this Cosmic Book News article. It says Aquaman 2 visual effects look unfinished just like The Flash. Now, this has been a running theme in Hollywood over the past 2 years. I feel like CGI a couple of years ago and visual effects in general had gotten so good, but now it's like most of these films are just on the mediocre side, unfortunately. I think it's because they have tried to shrink the teams because they had so many people working on the visual effects for, Marvel, DC films, these superhero films, just very big budget projects, and now they are, slowing down a little bit. The quality has definitely decreased, and I think that they are kind of struggling behind the scenes. At least we've heard that there are people in kind of visual effects departments for companies like Disney and also Warner Brothers who have said, it's not the best working conditions. They definitely have us working down to the wire until the very last minute, and that's why a lot of films have had to be delayed so many times. Look at The Marvels. The Marvels is a film that we have heard has been delayed several times because of the, CGI needing more time because it was just completely undercooked. They needed months and months and months of extra time. And of course, on top of that, we've heard rumors that they wanted to, fix some of the scenes, reshoot some of the scenes, but one of the core issues are the visual effects, and it seems like, DC themselves are struggling. It says, by the footage shown in the short teaser for the Aquaman 2 trailer, it also looks like the visual effects have gone unfinished on Aquaman 2 just like they did for The Flash. Now, I thought that most of The Flash's visual effects were pretty decent. I didn't have a lot of moments where I was like, oh my god, how did that even make it into the film? But there were definitely moments. It did definitely seem like they could have worked on it for at least a few more weeks and polished things up and made it look better, but it seems like this is going to be a running theme going forward because Aquaman 2 is also facing these issues. It says the teaser reveals a horrific looking scene featuring Nicole Kidman as Atlanta, where my first impression was I thought she was Cheetah from Wonder Woman 1984 or something. I mean, this image looks terrible. It just does. The hair looks really bizarre. Of course, the pose, it's hard to judge the pose itself because, of course, of what she's doing in the film, but it's just like this really weird green hue over her, akin to something like She-Hulk. I feel like She-Hulk was slightly better in terms of the way that the character looked with the green hue. But it just does not look good. And again, companies struggle, but this is a movie that has struggled since they announced it, right? While this does look bad, and it does look like there are some serious issues with some of the CGI, there are some scenes that look decent like this, like the glowing on the trident and the way that his suit is glowing and the hair, like that right there is a very solid image. But you also have to consider, I don't think that this movie is going to be successful, even if they did decide to delay it 2 more times and give months and months and months for the visual effects to be polished, simply because They didn't do what fans wanted, which was removing Amber or reducing Amber to a basically nothing role or recasting. We have heard some rumors circulating and floating around that they diminished her role a little bit, but Mara is extremely important to Aquaman and to this film, and of course they really heavily marketed her with the first film and show that they were building up to a big story with her, so they can't remove her completely, even though that's what some fans wanted, but the best answer would have been to recast, and of course they didn't want to do that. They probably already gave her the money, already signed the contracts, and even though she is kind of embroiled in controversy still to this day, they just banked on her the same way that they banked on Ezra. Okay, these people who have been proven to have done just awful, genuinely terrible things in the past, they have banked on thinking that, all of the controversy will eventually blow over, and it didn't. I do think with the Flash, part of the reason why it failed was because of Ezra and what Ezra has done in the past. Yes, it made it made money. It's not like it made $2 million in the box office, but it just barely made over its budget, meaning it was not considered successful. And I don't think that Aquaman 2 is going to be considered successful either. Aquaman 1 did pretty decent. It did, I believe, $800 million at the box office to right around that $1 billion mark. So it did good, but at the same time, I just don't see this film doing that amazing. And I do also think that part of this is the current state of Hollywood. The few people that they either have working on movies are, struggling right now to get all of the work done. There are a lot of projects that are on indefinite hiatus. I mean, the strikes have been going on for nearly 6 months at this point, and while the actors have not, been frozen this whole entire time because they didn't join in right at the beginning of the writers' strike, they are now facing issues with even the actors not wanting to work. Of course, Amber is out in Spain. She's living there. She's probably not coming back, and they probably don't have any kind of footage with her to promote this film, but I don't think that they ever intended to promote this film with her. And going to the official trailer itself, it is not being ratioed, but it's definitely got a lot of dislikes, 51,000 likes to 14,000 dislikes, and a lot of the comments are very negative. Unfortunately for them, people are not happy. Of course, we've got the Rings of Power template. I love the part where Jack Sparrow meets the mermaid and saves the day. People saying, really, really funny things like that. I love the part where Mara hits Aquaman in the face and then denies it. There are some people saying, I really hope that some characters get the screen time they deserve. I think that this is going to be a pretty good movie. I wasn't originally hyped, but this looks better. But there are a lot of people also, calling out Amber, saying, I refuse to support this movie because Amber is in it. I hope that this ends up being successful for the DCU in general, but I am very skeptical about this project specifically. So there are people who are kind of arguing in the comments, and of course, I'm sure that you all know and you all remember, but we have the change.org petition that has been it's been kind of at a standstill. It hasn't really been growing very quickly lately, but I do think that it is possible that it will meet its 6 million goal, but it's currently at 4.6 million signatures. So this movie overall is embroiled in controversy now, not just because of the actress, one of the lead actresses, but also because the visual effects look unfinished. Maybe this film will come out and it'll be really good. I personally don't have any interest in it at this point in time because of the way that Warner Brothers has defended Amber, the fact that she's still in this and she's still being promoted in this film. I do not plan to support it monetarily, and just seeing this new trailer and seeing the unfinished visual effects just makes me even more worried for the future of the DCU and the films that will come after things like The Flash and, of course, the upcoming Aquaman 2. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.